Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to some post-edit recording. I was editing the video and I figured out that parts of the video does not have the commentary because for some reason my microphone switched on and off during during the recording, and for that reason he records some parts but not all of it. And it's over an hour recording, so I don't want to re-record it. So I will try to give some places some commentary and try. I need to cut this recording into pieces and try to give at least some commentary for you guys, because a whole video without commentary is just not that interesting, and re-recording the video is just a pain. I'm not going to do that. So unfortunately, we will have some maybe some differences in sound, because then I have been switching back to the original video, but I think of the whole hour of recording, I think he only recorded like 5 minutes of it, and that is really annoying. Yeah, around 5 minutes. It's really annoying, and I don't think I will be able to speak for a whole hour, for over an hour, so there will be parts that will still be silenced. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is, and I will try my best to make up for it. So, I will first turn off the sound of the video, because I will walk through the editing and just give some small commentary to things and try to work out that way how to deal with it. So we're starting with some campaign stuff. I'm really delaying the fact that it is basically the end turn, so I just hover around and see what I have been building, because sometimes you just need some reminder of what you were doing. And I don't think it is mentioned in the spoken bits, but as you will see, this video has been uploaded later than normally. And you might hear it on my voice, because my voice is not as it used to be. I have been a little bit sick this weekend again. For my work, I'm a lot outside, so therefore it's easier to catch a cold, and I did again. So I've been sick all weekend, which was really annoying. But I'm getting better now, and I want to record something for you guys. So here we are. Plan for this episode is try to get some to clear some armies against Gundabad, and spoiler alert, we will be, because there is a huge battle in the end of this episode against Hazolg the Bloody, and we will do a magnificent job on defeating him, taking out a lot of troops with it. Also losing quite some, but that is for later. We are now trying to move around. There are some elites coming from Beorn's halls, and those troops will help on the defense eventually. They are not. We don't see them in action yet. Like the majority of our troops, of our higher tier troops, we won't see, but they are on their way, and I'm really looking forward on using some of them, because also some AO Theath are on their way, and as we are looking at the end turn, we are waiting, and oh yes, here we have Captain Yakmus. He's it seems like he's coming from Beorn's halls, and we see there the new Bjorning troops, and they are all trained and ready before Yagmus will come for us. So we will be well defended, and we have some extra reinforcements from the forts on the western side of the Anduin. They were in the fort nearby Mithlond, and we have shifted them over. In Gundabad, we have built a massive ground, and I think I will be lining for another unit. No. Oh, yes, we are preparing for the siege, though. It will keep Yulstone at risk, but I don't think it will be that dangerous, because technically Yulstone is bordering Dane's halls through the mountains, but I don't think they will attack it, and therefore I take the risk on sending the troops to Gundabad, because that is where I expect them to attack. At the same time, I want to figure out how Dane's halls is doing, because that is on the planning on taking, and therefore I want to check it out. I have a huge army at Enethal, and I want to use it. And as it seems like it, Ar-Adunaim is just not that well defended. There are a lot of units, but they are probably quite weakened. And I think I can muster a force to take Ar-Adunaim, and I will gift it to the Elves. Maybe for some money, maybe for some other treaties. I'm not sure. It will depend on what we have. So we have huge arm. We are starting to form an army with the troops of Anethar. There are a lot of archers in there, so I decided not to take them all because I need some infantry as well. So I'll put some archers back and take instead of it some. I don't think those are the wardens, the woodman wardens. I think those are a higher tier unit. We haven't seen any of them. We can't train any of them either. But I will try to do that as soon as possible. And I will meet up with some troops of Leopold and send them to Ar-Adunaim and try to take out Ar-Adunaim. And we figured out that our great friend King Tandul is still there. So maybe he can help us with the siege of Ar-Adunaim. Probably not. Probably he's just gonna sit on his ass and do nothing. But maybe he will. I would like to go for Bjorning camp in Gundabad, because it will be our point of defense for quite a while. And Bjornings are, in my opinion, the best defending troops for that. We have some Eothid in Framsburg, and I will build a woodman camp in Yulstone, so we have all three of them together. Oh, come on. So this turn we will see something happen. Two things actually. And those that are two sieges, and we are waiting for the turn of Dol Guldur, because they will be the first one. We did take some preparation because we saw them coming, and we sent some hobbits and some Vale archers towards Dwinburg, because that is the city that will be sieged. And just to get that extra layer of extra manpower to deal with Dûguldur. There we have it. Captain Mogul. We had some interesting troops. And it is the same turn that Hazolg the Bloody decide to strike. So we have two upcoming sieges. Two upcoming defenses of the sieges at least. And the first one will be at the start of next turn, I think. Yeah, that is good news for us. The goblins have been cleansed from Moria. Although it does mean that their last stand army will kick in. I try to kind of sort these troops out because I like clean armies, because it shows you way better what troops, how much of what troops you have. Yigma saw our reinforced defenses of Baron's Halls and decided to withdraw, which is perfectly fine with me. Roskabel has Master Mason's Hall, and we will go for a market, which is pretty cheap and brings in some cash because we are low on our cash flow at the moment. We have a lot of troops fielded, and that cost us a bit. Still checking out if Thranduil is still there. I want to move them up because I want to link up with some of the troops in Leohold. And here we have our army that will take down Erndollen. And hopefully with some elven help, and that, because we will give that city to them, because we have no business in the forest. Right, we have Gleewine with quite a good force. And they say we are outmatched slightly, but looking to the troops, it is not that dangerous. The Pale Urquhart will be difficult, and Hazolg has Black Shield archers, who will be a pain to deal with, but besides that, they are not that dangerous. Here we have, some Uruk Slayers and some Mirkwood Uruks. So it is some higher tier units of Dûguldur. But we should be fine, and with the reinforcements of the hobbits, we should be able to deal with them quite easily. So without further ado, let's just dive into this battle and deal with some orcs. So the plan for this battle is quite simple, as I misclick a few times, because my mouse doesn't seem to always listen what I want to do. Keep the Veilsmen in front of the archers, let the archers shoot. Let the Veilsmen hold the line and hope that they will not crumble underneath it. And who knows what help the hobbits can be. And I think they will be a huge help, because there's some armor-piercing missiles, and we are fighting against Dûguldur, especially Uruk Slayers. They are alright armored, but they don't have any shields. They are very vulnerable to archer fire. And the armor piercing capabilities of the hobbits should make the difference. Alright, the dwarves, the enemy decided to attack, and they are warg striders, so they have javelin capabilities. And do note, this is our lowest tier infantry unit fighting against Dol Gulduar's mid to high tier units, so don't expect them to perform excellent, but they are performing pretty well. I'm very pleased about it. Because they've really been targeted by the enemy. So I decided to set up more archers on the walls just to try to really get down these Mirkwood Urks. For some reason, I think they're more dangerous than the Uruk Slayers. They are a spear unit, so they perform not that great from fighting melee, but they are up against our lowest tier of unit. Don't forget that. These are just the shitty Veilsmen. They're not that great of fighters, but they perform really well in this battle. I forgot to get them in guard mode as well, because that is really important. We don't want to follow them. Want to hold our lines, shoot our missiles, and just get the kills. Move up the hobbits, because not all of them, because now and then there were some Uruk Slayers trying to catch them in the open field, and then they would have melted away. But now I had the opportunity to position them well and use their strength. Here's where I figured out that my Veil archers were out of ammunition, so I had to switch them around with Woodman hunters. First try the hobbits behind the Veilsman line, but that doesn't work very well for some reason. They seem to be stuck for some reason. So they didn't perform that well in this first round. Do note, the Veilsmen are now up against the Uruk Slayers, so the Mirkwood Uruks were already down to that number that the AI didn't dare to risk them anymore. We have some archers in the back firing down on the Uruks. And our Veilsmen are going down slowly but surely. But they are performing way above their expectations. I still try to figure out how I can let the hobbits shoot from behind the Veilsmen, but then I know it's about here somewhere. I noticed that the Woodman hunters were following, and I decided that they would perform better behind the Veilsmen, and the hobbits have to deal with first about the same line, but I think the hobbits would perform better from the flanks, and there is where I decided to put them over there. Meanwhile, our line of Vilsmen is getting really, really thin. So I needed to be careful that the line would not be broken. And there you see the devastating impact the hobbits can have. They just melted the Mirkwood Orcs, and that is where the tide is starting to turn. We have to move the hobbits behind our lines, because else would have been caught by the wargs. But with one unit down, we are pretty good to go. And the other units are all pretty vulnerable to archer fire, so I think here it's the point where I think we are pretty alright. We have the troops. And as soon as the hobbits start to fire, they will melt. They will just melt, as we see. But not before the Vilsmen are taking down quite a bit. There are only 20 Vilsmen left, and there are over 100 Orcs. Well, they are going down very quickly, actually. So we are able to defeat them with only 3 Vilsmen left. These Vilsmen really gave their life for the country. And victory is almost assured, so... Yeah, the Vilsmen did stand a chance, but the Woodman Hunters deal with the rest pretty quickly. I'm already setting up my general because I had, for one moment, I had the fear that it wouldn't turn out that well. I decided to continue the battle because I wasn't really sure whether we had enough to destroy the enemy army. So I decided to send my general after, because he auto-replenish and he's pretty strong, so I hadn't any fears there. So a well fought battle. Most of the Vilsmen died. They didn't kill that much, but they have done their job, holding the line and letting others kill the enemy. Right. Guldur already had his turn. Gundabad didn't attack. That's annoying. Lorien under attack. It's not something I want to see, but alright. Yes, we have them under siege. Now keep them under siege. I would like to have a spy around here. Where are my spies? Grey Mountains, I want you there. I need you there. Don't need you there anymore, actually. Because we are faking that. Someone without a chart, I guess. Yes, so we already had you. Alright. One turn for the port. That's good to see. Metelberg. 2 turns for the roads. Really nice. Building the port in Bayon's Halls. Good to see. Is there anything else I want to visit? I don't think so. Except for this fella. I could get rid of him, actually. Because the devastation is not nice. But this guy over here has left. So that's good to see. Good move. Maybe with Vestford. I have tower over there. Seriously? Bloody elves. Right. The woodmen are retrained. That's nice to see. And now the moment we have been waiting for, the battle between Glühwein and Hazolg. We have some western defenders. I didn't notice that we had built it, that building was built, or we had built it. But at least we have it, and that is in our advantage. Because that are 300 units I didn't expect to have. Right, come on. Yes, there we are. Alright. Well, our plan here is to hold them at the gates. First, I want to keep the cavalry behind, because they wouldn't perform that great in this battle. Then I started to reorganize my army, because I really like that. Because it's just clear what you have. So we had a lot of Bjorning Axemen, which is more offensive units, so that wasn't really great. And they had 2 siege towers, so I expected them that they would use them. And I placed 2 units of Axemen on the walls. And then I started my layered defense. So what I decided to do is first want to take away the units that are on the wall, so I don't remove them from the wall when it's not necessary. Place the other units behind. We have some Sons of the Fallen, which is really nice to have. I wanted to V-shape them around the gate, but the deployment phase doesn't really work well that way. And at least from one side, for some reason, the other side does work pretty well, but this side, the left side doesn't seem to work, so I just put them behind. Behind that, I first thought on putting all spears in one line. But then I think that if I would do that, it means that all the other flanks, the whole third line would only contain X-Men. So I put some X-Men on the flanks, some spearmen in the center, with the idea that I had some real killing strength in every line. So I would have enough killing power in each line to just perform well. In the last line, I just turn it around. So the 2 spearmen on the flanks and 1 offensive unit in the center. I put 1 X-Men in the city center, and I keep 2 units of X-Men in reserve together with the Sons of the Fallen. So I would have a really, really good unit at the end of the battle who can just turn the tide. To my surprise, I noticed that they don't use the siege towers. I'm not sure why, but I'm not bothered about it, because it means that there will be only 1 opening on the whole front. And I'm not bored, and I'm really happy, because it's easier to defend 1 border than 3 or 4. So it all went down pretty as expected. They flowed the enemy line, they flowed the gate. Just send in the troops right away to hold them as close to the gate as possible. Don't give them the room to expand. Because as soon as they will expand, they will have an advantage in numbers, I thought. And if I can keep them small, I would have the advantage of my troops. So that is the way I decide to perform. At first, I'm pretty shocked how poor the Western defenders performed, because they went down really quickly, actually. And so I was not that pleased about them. I moved my other lines closer, so if necessary, I can just put them, use them as soon as possible. Also, I found out that this blob of orcs would perform very well for, would do very well for my cavalry, because with their missiles, they could do some damage, and they would, because it's just a blob you shoot into, and there will always be someone who die on it. So really nice. So use some javelins over there. And as I said, I was really shocked how poor the Western defenders performed. So soon I realized that one of the flanks is pretty open. Well, it's not pretty open. It's pretty thin spread. It's pretty thin. Has a pretty thin line, and on the right flank you see it. It does really bother me. And here I decided that's enough, and I would send in some offensive units on the flanks. Try to really kill something. Do note that we are still not, that the balance of power is still not in our favor. The AI still thinks that we will lose eventually. This blob is just so great to shoot. And even some Vale archers would perform really, really well in this battle. But unfortunately, I didn't have that much archers. Because I had to hold them down at Yellowstone. So my first two layers of defense are fighting as we speak, and they don't seem, the enemy is doing well, but they don't really seem to be able to break through one of the sides, so that is really in our advantage. And since they have sent in all of the troops at once, it means that the Pale Uruks, their elite troops, are somewhere in there. Trying to locate them, because I do see some of them. So I also saw some black shield units, but I couldn't at the first I couldn't really place them because I didn't knew. I thought they didn't have any black shield units, but I forgot the general. So Here is where I notice the Pale Uruks, and I want them as targets for my javelins. Gliowan is out of ammunition, and there was no need to keep him in battle over there. Here is where things do get some harder, because our first two lines are in battle, and yet still our left flank doesn't seem very secure, in my opinion. So I'm a little bit afraid of it. And also on the walls there is some fighting going on, and at first I didn't notice that at all. And just then I saw it, and these guys are just marked for that, because there will only be more of them. The other side is not fighting on the wall, so I decided to send them down south and try to get some killing going. Meanwhile, my more cavalry is been sent forward to rain down some javelins. The Bjorning X-Men are coming out of the door exactly as I hope, as necessary, right in front of the Pale Uruks, so they will be able to deal some damage to them. But still, we are not the ones who are in favor. Mostly due to the huge amount of troops there are still in there. These guys don't seem to perform very good on the walls, which is annoying. Because there was no reason to put them on the wall after all. Slowly but surely, Pale Uruks are going down, but it is not going that great. It is too slow, and I truly, at this stage, I just honestly hope that we could win, because I wasn't that sure about it. I wasn't that sure at all. So I sent in my last layer of defense and muster the troops on I had in reserve towards the front. At least the Bjornings. Units here are marked for dead, and it's not going that well. And looking back to it, I shouldn't put any units on there, but I didn't know that they wouldn't use the siege equipment. Decided to send in Gliowan for some moral support. I think his ability would do very well. And at this stage, I think my lines are pretty solid. It is not great, but they are doing well. There are enough bodies everywhere to lock the enemy down, to contain them to the gates, and I do use Clearwine's ability though, which is really nice to know. So I sent in more Bjornings, and I think the majority of the line now is made out of Bjorning X-Men. The Western defenders are almost all dead. The majority of the troops on the walls is just incredible. It's amazing how much troops they had on the walls. At some point, I think I thought from why don't I just send some troops on the walls and attack them from the back, sandwich them. They don't turn out that well actually. Fortunately, both of our Western defender units are down, and I send up one unit of Bjorning X-Men up to the gate, up to the walls, in hope of sandwiching the units on the walls and defeat them. But don't work out as well for us as it did for the Snow Orcs. They had a lot of troops up there. Still, I can't figure out why. The line here is thinning, and the X-Men were on the Arch of Fire, so decided to send in those troops. The walls were not doing well. Most of the units are broken. Unfortunately, does mean that those troops will come out again and have to face them. And here's where I figure out I really need those Sons of the Fallen. And I might need my cavalry as well. Dulguldur, Mount Gundabad is quite an open field, so it would be chargeable. In here we now notice, I think that the general has the Black Shield Archers, which I almost forgot during the majority of the battle. Well, the walls are clenched from our troops, so all those units who were on the walls are now trying to punch through our lines. That is where I find out I really need those Sons of Fallen. They are right on the flanks with the general, so that is in our advantage. We have killed almost 3/4 of their troops, but we also lost a lot of men. 70% of our own men are dead. Half of the Bjorning X-Men units are gone. And one of our best unit, the Sons of the Fallen, are in combat. And even now they are breaking on the other flanks. And I think it's really time to do something about it. Not sure whether I do it right away. I think I do. Yes, I'm sending around one of my AO-tiered horsemen just to start charging on the flanks, because it's it's a wide open uh, flank, and with some charges I would be able to deal some damage with them. You see the charging over and over again. Some not as great as others. And this is the turning point. The Sons of the Fallen have killed Hazolg, and now they're all routing. And we basically have the victory. We run off some of them down, and with 93% killed, I think it's time to end the battle, and we have a glorious victory. Well, very well done. Top spot is for Gleowine, who could just shoot over and over again into that blob and taking up 328 kills. Also, Sons of the Fallen, shortly in combat, but 230 kills is really nice. Top spot going to one of the Bjorning X-Men though, with 354 kills or something. Really nice. So that was a huge battle against Gundabad and a huge victory for us. We lost a lot of men, that is true, but with that army gone, we have some breathing space. And we have some troops coming from the south. So we are not as vulnerable as expected. We have a lot of cavalry, so we can sweep down some of their armies in the field if necessary. But most of all, we have gained a good victory and killed one of the custom generals, which is nice as well. For this last part, I want to say thank everyone for watching, if indeed you did. It has been an unusual recording in more than one way. I hope you guys still have enjoyed it. If so, please leave a like. If you want to see more, subscribe to the channel, and I hope to see you soon in another video of Divide and Conquer. But until then, goodbye!